Hello all, welcome to this video. In this video, we will be looking at the switchport security. Now, what is a switchport security? So, switchport security is a feature in a switch, network switch or Ethernet switch that allows you to bind a MAC address to a port and inform switch that if a different MAC address appears, it means if some other machine gets connected to that port, then it will be considered as a violation and the port will may be shut down. Why we have to implement this switch port security? Now, in organizations, what happens is there may be certain locations where they keep computers, but those areas are not, you can say, monitored, or there are no employees all the time. Like, just take an example, in the visitor room there may be a computer kept which keeps on showing the presentation about the organization. Similarly, there may be a computer at the reception which may be showing similar kind of information to the visitors. Now, most of the time, these areas are open to the visitors. So, a visitor may try to connect his or her laptop to that network point. Now, these computers may be connected in the network. So the visitor may remove the cable and connect it to his or her own laptop. Today you get the Ethernet C type cables for mobiles also. So it's not that always the laptop is required, even you can connect the mobile also. So someone may come with these things and just connect the mobile. Now today you get a complete Kali Linux called NetHunter for mobile. So a lot of things can be done by connecting mobile into the network. Now let's see what the user will be able to do if that visitor connects the laptop. Now all the visitors may not be there with a good intention. There may be some attackers who want to get information about your organization, may pose as a visitor and visit your office, and their intention may be to get information about your network. Now let's see if this is the computer that is connected into the network by a visitor or an attacker. Now, if you have a DHCP server in your network, the machine will automatically get an IP address, and then visitor doesn't have to do anything. Automatically, the machine will be in the network, and machine will be able to communicate with other machines in that network. Now, if that user runs a Wireshark, let's see what traffic that user will be able to get. So there will be a lot of traffic. Now, most important, there will be an ARP traffic. So if you apply the filter, you may get ARP traffic. Okay, this is how you will get the ARP traffic. Now, as there are less number of machines, you are getting less ARP. But in real network, if you see, there will be so many ARP packets. Now, these ARP packets will give you MAC addresses. So here, if you see, it will give you the source MAC address. Okay, so similarly, if you go to address resolution, protocol header, information, and scroll down, you may get some IP addresses. Okay, this is how what happens is a lot of information may be there. If there are any some DHCP traffic, now if you capture, if there is a DHCP server and if you capture the DHCP traffic, so here you can see there are DHCP requests, acknowledgements. So in that case also, you will get a lot of information. Okay, so in the DHCP configuration option, here you get the host name, right? So here if you can see the host name is server 3, which is sending this particular packet. This is how a lot of information can be captured, like host names, MAC addresses, IP addresses, and that can be used like your Wi-Fi may be protected with MAC addresses. So this is how, if I am able to get the MAC address, I can try to connect to your Wi-Fi networks. So what if your network doesn't have a DHCP server? So in that case, the attacker, the visitor will not know what IP address your network has. So in case, now let's consider, I will just remove the IP address by giving ipconfig/release command. So now the IP address is removed. If I give ipconfig command, there is no IP address, IPv4 address to my machine. Now let's start capturing the packets and let's see what packets we are able to get. Here you can see, even though there is no IP address to the machine, still you are able to get the ARP packets. There will be no DHCP, but at least from ARP packets, you will be able to get the MAC addresses and maybe the IP addresses in your network. So a lot of information can be captured by connecting a computer into the network. So that is why we need to protect such kind of unauthorized access to network, or you can say the unauthorized connections into the network. So that is why the port security is used. So now we'll see how to configure the port security. So this is the Cisco packet tracer. Now here, if we click on the switches, here you get different switches. So I'll get 12960 switch here, and then click on end devices, and we will get three computers. Okay, now let's name them. So this is, let's say, the attacker or the visitor. We will give it as visitor. This is the visitor computer. This is the computer at the reception, and this is your inside the LAN. You can say some server is there. Okay, this is how these computers are there. Now let's connect. You have to take the copper straight cable, fast Ethernet. Remember the port on which you are connecting. So I'm connecting the reception machine to port number 5. Again, select the third number cable, copper straight through, and connect server. I'm connecting server to 10. Now my server is in server room. So server room is protected. So it's difficult for anyone to go into the server room and connect anything into that network. But reception area is open, so anyone can connect it. So what I want to do is apply a port security here. So let's give the IP address. Go to desktop, click on that PC, go to desktop, IP configuration, and here let's give 192.168.10.10 and this one. No gateway, nothing, DNS not required. So for server, again click on that, go to desktop, IP configuration, and here I will give 192.168.10 dot maybe let's say 2. Okay, this is how I have given the IP addresses from this reception PC. Now we will go to command prompt, ping 192.168.10.2. So I am able to ping to the server machine. Right? So that is a threat, that if visitor is able to connect the machine, the visitor may be able to do something with the server. Let's see what happens when the visitor is able to connect. Okay. Now visitor suppose somehow finds out the IP address or there is a DHCP server. So now if I go to desktop of visitor, and here I will assign the IP address 10 dot let's say 30 to the 192.168.10.30 to the attacker machine. Okay. Now what attacker visitor is doing? Visitor will remove the cable from here and connects it to this. Okay. Now no one is there in that reception area that time, so visitor takes a chance and connects that. Okay. Now let's see, can visitor ping to the server? So if I go to command prompt and try to ping 192.168.10.2, which is the IP address of the server. Okay. Now here you can see I am able to get the ping. So it means the visitor is able to communicate with the server. Now this is a problem. So again, if I connect here, it's working. Now visitor leaves. Now visitor has got all the information. Maybe visitor has captured a lot of packet, and based on that, visitor may plan the next move. In this case, now we need a protection. So that is where the switchport security will be there. So now we will configure the switchport security, and then we will see what happens if the visitor connects the PC here. So click on the switch, go to CLI, you'll get this prompt, type enable. So I'm using shortcut EN to go into the privileged mode, then go to the configuration mode by typing conf t. Now we have to select the port where you connected the reception machine. So now if you take the pointer on this green dot, it will show you the port number on the switch side. So it is, in my case, it is FA0/5. So I'll select that INT FA0/5. Now here, by default, the switch port is in dynamic mode. The switch port can work in access mode and trunk mode. Okay, but here we have to put it in the access mode. So that's why what we have to do is first give the command switch port mode access. Okay, and then we have to give the command switch port security. Okay, this will enable the port security on that. If you try to give switchport port security first, it will give error saying the port is in dynamic mode and switch port security cannot be enabled. Okay, now after this, we have to map the MAC address for this port. So you need to find out the MAC address of this computer. So click on this. In real physical machine, you'll have to give ipconfig/all or ifconfig to find out the MAC address and use that. So in this case, click on the PC, go to the config and click on fast ethernet 0. Here you will find the MAC address. So copy this MAC address, and now go to the switch. Now here you can give switch port security, okay, and then MAC address, and provide the MAC address. Paste it and enter. This is how, if you want to give multiple MAC addresses, you can add them. Next, you tell the switch how many MAC addresses you want to bind to this particular port. Now you can map 1, 2, 3, as many MAC addresses as you want, and you can add them like this. Or there is an option called sticky. It will automatically find out the MAC addresses and map them. But here we are giving manual, so we'll say here we just want one MAC address of the computer that is connected to the port number 5. So we will map that. So switch port security, okay, max, that is maximum 1. So you are telling that there can be only one MAC address and the MAC address that I have given. Map this. So if you find anything else, any other MAC address, now this is what we have to configure the violation. It will be considered as a violation and what you want to do. So here, switchport port security violation. Now here you have three options. If you give a question mark, it will tell you what three options are there. So you have protect, restrict, and shut down. All the three don't allow any packet to go from that system. Okay, the system with a different MAC address. But there is a difference. In shutdown, the port goes in error state and is disabled. Now protect and restrict, they keep the port on. Okay, the link will be up, but they will block the traffic. The difference is one of them generates the syslog messages, whereas the other one does not do anything. No logs are generated. Now it's your homework to find out which one generates the syslog and which one does not do anything, just blocks the packet. So here we are going to put shutdown as the mode. Okay. So these are the only commands that are required to configure the switch port security. Now let's see what happens. Okay, so now the switch port security is configured. Now the visitor again or the attacker comes, finds no one is there. So let's take a chance and connect my PC, removes the cable and connects it. Okay. Now let's see whether it automatically happens, because there needs to be some frame actually go to the switch. Then only switch will find out the MAC address. It will know that this MAC address in the frame is different than, and then only switch will shut down the port. This is due to STP. Now the link is up. Okay, because there is no frame going to the switch. Now let's try to ping from visitor PC to the server. Earlier, if you see, we were able to ping to the server. Now let's see what happens. So see, request timeout. Okay, now if I close this, see, this link is down. Now visitor will not be able to do anything. Visitor will not be able to run Wireshark or do anything. Even if the visitor brings a virus in that laptop and just connects into your network, a fraction of seconds are sufficient for the virus to get into the network. But now visitor will not be able to do any such kind of thing. So now visitor will put the cable back to original PC, but original PC also will not start. So when the receptionist comes and tries to work on that computer, they will find that the link is disabled. So they will inform the administrator. Now administrator will know that if the link is down, it means there is some violation. And now there will be a root cause analysis, that how this happened, who did this, so who removed the cable and connected another PC. So all the questions will be there, and then you will come to know about these things. Otherwise earlier it went unnoticed. This is how, if something is happening in your network, you should come to know about these things. And that is why these security solutions need to be implemented. Now how to get this link up again? So again, go to the switch. So here, if you see, it gives the message also on the switch. See, error detected on FA051, putting FA051 in error disabled state. Right? Security violation occurred caused by MAC address. And that is why you need to look at the logs also. Now we have already this. Let's see how to get this link up again. So go to that port In our case, it is intfa 0/5. Then you will have to give the shutdown command. So you'll have to shut down the port and then give no shutdown. So that will bring the port up again. And now this time the link will be up. Okay. So this is how you implement the switchport security. It is very much important to protect your network from such kind of unauthorized access. Uh, you may not implement port security for all the ports, but at least for those ports which are into public areas and where monitoring is not there, means the employees are not there who can notice such kind of things. Okay. So enable the port security for such kind of ports. Hope you understood the concept of port security and why it is required. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you once again. Bye bye.